This is one of the most structurally interesting places I have ever seen.
What a difference a day makes. Last night when we were trying to do this walk, we had no idea where we were going. This is absolutely incredible.
Wow.
Got a Piada.
This is just so incredibly unique. Matera was kind of like the black eye of Italy. It had all kinds of problems. We're Howard and Caitlin Newstate, dog people, food people, adventure people. We've been living on the road for the past 3 years, traveling through North America and beyond. For the past several weeks, we've taken you along as we've eaten and explored our way through Italy, from coast to coast, city to town, by boat, train, and automobile. You've been with us as we visited over a dozen places in this gorgeous country. And with only a few more stops to go, we're showing you why a trip to this area of Italy is definitely worth it. Last week, we stayed in a traditional Italian trullo and visited the UNESCO World Heritage Site filled with the picturesque stone houses, Alberobello. And today, we're taking you to another UNESCO site and a place that was once considered the Black Eye of Italy. Learn how Matera went from what many called the most shameful town in the country to a vibrant and luxurious tourism hotspot. Good morning.
Good morning from a chilly Matera. It is definitely sweater weather out there.
We're so excited because we're going to head back into the old town today, and this town is just incredible with so much history. We ventured in last night to go to our last super nice meal here in Italy before we leave. We had a delicious meal. It was so good. You found it in a New York Times article.
Yeah, from 2017. It was highly recommended from New York Times. And I tend to trust the critics from the New York Times, and thankfully they came through again. It lives up to the hype. It is a very popular restaurant, and the chef does some incredible stuff, including the dessert, which was out of this world.
Yeah, very good. All right, well, we're gonna head into town again. It's about a 15-minute walk from where we're staying. Because we have a rental car, we had to find something outside of the city because it's a, what's it called, ZTL?
ZTL, which is I think it's a really good program because what it does is it restricts traffic flow to only locals or people who have permits in order to drive into some of these old cities, because as you've seen, these are really narrow roads, and it is not appropriate, honestly, to have a large amount of traffic going through these places when people are just trying to walk around. What a difference a day makes. Last night when we were trying to do this walk, we had no idea where we were going, and it was dark. And we kept missing the various cutoffs to go to the stairwells. Today, it's oh, obviously, you go here,
right
turn left here, turn right there, look for the goat. Turn left, no problem.
This is one of the most structurally interesting places I have ever seen.
Particularly how vertically stacked and oriented everything is. We are walking along kind of a plateau, and then there's a huge valley on one side, and then there's a huge hill on the other side. Along the hill are multiple layers of housing, commercial, churches, all of that built into the rock.
Looking out over Matera, it's just incredible to think about the history here. This is one of the oldest inhabited cities in the world. And in the 1950s, Matera was actually like the black eye of Italy. They had all kinds of problems, but they really latched onto the idea of tourism, saw an opportunity, and improved in all areas. And it's really exploded in popularity since then, and it is now even a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The ancient city, thought to be the third oldest in the world, was considered the shame of Italy because its cave-dwelling citizens were extremely poverty and disease-stricken. But this wasn't happening in ancient times. It was 1950. Malaria was running rampant and the infant mortality rate was reportedly 40%. With no running water or electricity and large families living together in small caves, the Italian government stepped in, and in 1952, 15,000 residents of Matera were forcibly relocated to housing that was built for them in the new part of the city. Matera sat empty for about 30 years, and in the late 80s, former residents were granted permission to move back if they helped to restore the city. In 1993, Matera was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site for being the most outstanding intact example of a troglodyte settlement in the Mediterranean region.
What a lucky find.
We just finished at the Casa Grotta, and it was incredible. So you start by going into what was a traditional dwelling for a family here, and they used every inch of the space, and
including horses, livestock, inside of their living quarters.
Imagine having your horse stabled at the foot of your bed, and then they use drawers for children's beds, and the space was multi-purpose. The chickens lived in here.
And there was also a great video in one of the other spaces that really laid out a lot of the culture and the reasons behind why they conserved every little bit. I mean, this was truly an area where they rationed and produced their own water through cisterns, but also kept everything, including manure, in order to repurpose and reuse it.
Yeah, they used the manure from the horses to repurpose it as like a heating source.
And Matera is enormous too. The size of it, with over 3,500 caves. We're only going to scratch the surface.
And then we learned about the big celebration that they have every year on July 2nd. And it is from the time the sun rises until the sun goes down. And that is a fascinating process.
Including, they create this beautiful float that is representative of the holiday, and then proceed to completely destroy it by the end of the celebration.
And in the video, they said that outsiders don't really understand this kind of like violent attack on the float, but when you stop and think about it in the way that they described it, and that they're tearing it down because next year's float will be even bigger and better. It's like this rebirth of the celebration. I mean, I kind of get it. So if you come to Matera, definitely come to Casa Grotta. It's €3 per person as of 2021, and that was worth every penny. That was a very well done tour. We learned so much more about this area.
It's a great place to start your exploration of Matera. It's kind of located on, I guess you would say, almost on the backside per se. But I think it's worthwhile to kind of skip everything else and just head straight here first.
This is so cool. There are a lot of really fancy places here now, including like if you want to sleep in a cave, there are gorgeous cave hotels. If you want to dine in a cave, you can do that too. I can't help but wonder, you know, thinking about the juxtaposition of what Matera used to be and how much poverty there was here, and how kind of luxurious it is now, and what those people who used to live here would think of it today. Okay, I think Matera and Terra are my two favorite places that we visited on this trip. We still have one more place we're going tomorrow, but this is just so incredibly unique. The rich history, the stories behind it, and just walking along all of these pathways is just mind-blowing.
Well, welcome to Tramontano Castle. Now, it may look unfinished. That's because it is. And the legend that we heard as to why it's not finished is because the man, Tramontano, who this was named for, was, let's call him a ladies' man. And after one too many interactions with recently married women, he was murdered. And so he never got to finish his castle because of his philandering. How about that?
Yeah, imagine that. He wasn't too popular with the other gentlemen in town. I wonder why.
Fortunately, it's closed, and I think it's been under renovation since 2016. And from what I had read, it was supposed to open in 2019. Maybe because of COVID it didn't. I don't know. But it doesn't look like it's necessarily ready.
Not at all. No. It does have the potential to be really nice.
Okay.
Wow.
Got a piada with spicy salami, dried peppers, and cheese.
Thank you. Nutella.
Oh, hi there. I didn't see you there. Welcome to our internationally themed Airbnb stay. Come check this out. As you'll notice, there's tons and tons of countries, places, and Jack Daniels located throughout this apartment. Starting over here, we have our nice kitchen. Notice Rome, New York, Staten Island, Wall Street, Paris. Over here is our snack bar. You can see we have, oh look, we've got jams, Nutella. Yes. We've got assorted cakes and snacks, and looks like croissants in the back.
All the carbs.
We have a nice living room. It's actually pretty nice. We are on the ground floor, but I will say that it looks like it has nice privacy curtains and all that too. Oh, Caitlin, behind you, look at these license plates. California, Arizona, Nevada. Let's go in the bedroom. And I really love this. It's modern, it's funky, it's cool. Look at the headboard, really awesome there. And then, this is a reoccurring theme, Jack Daniels. The Jack Daniels chandelier.
I love it.
Continuing the Jack Daniels theme, we have Jack Daniels Tennessee Whiskey Soap.
It's a nice bathroom.
Very nice. Yeah, this is all very nice, very modern. I'm in. So thank you very much, Superhost.
After our quick break at the Airbnb, we headed back into the main square to get our tickets to go underground into Matera's magnificent water cistern system. This impressive network of cisterns that collected rainwater could store 1.3 million gallons. It was used for about a century and a half as the city's main water supply before being abandoned for more modern methods of water collection. It was only just recently rediscovered in 1991, and now you can venture deep inside the cistern, where you're allowed to spend about 15 minutes for €3.
This is absolutely incredible.
I'm just like speechless, the fact that they were able to make something this big to hold water.
Yeah, by hand no less.
Right.
So these were originally a series of different caves and basements and wine cellars and things like that, which were combined together by the municipality to form the cistern.
So these holes are where they would drop the buckets in to fill up the water and then pull them back out. When they first started discovering this area, there were all kinds of like coins, watches, things that people had dropped down into those holes when they were trying to get the water. This is so cool. You can see stuff at the bottom. That was awesome. Join us next week for our last episode from Italy, when we check off a major bucket list destination, the ancient city of Pompeii. Plus, we spend a night in Naples and track down what just might be the actual birthplace of pizza. Don't miss any of our upcoming adventures. Make sure you subscribe and click the bell. Thanks so much for watching. See you next week.